Hi, today we're going to be checking the application that will help you track your food cost at your facility. This application is mostly intended for long-term care facilities and is pretty much straightforward to calculate your purchases for each week and then calculate your PPD and be able to track it monthly, weekly, and yearly. If you want the pro version, this here that will be it's kind of geared more for long acute care settings, and it's intended to be used with the inventory, weekly inventories, and it will certainly be more detailed in terms of the weekly purchases, and then versus a budget and the inventory. So if you're interested in that version, please do let us know. Info at SOS Nutrition Consulting, or you can go to sosnutritionconsulting.com to send us a message, and we'll be more than happy to give you information on that. Let's just go right into the application. When you first open your application, the neat thing about this application is that it does the math for you and it will do the tracking for you. You can certainly do this manual, but it's really nice to have it on one single place and knowing that this process can be automated. So it certainly makes very uh, good use of your time for other activities when you can calculate the PPD in the blink of an eye, so to speak. So let's go right into it. What you will first do here, I'm going to reset this um, application, and you want to select the auto. You can do manual PPD. We can do different options, monthly, weekly. We're going to do automatic because we want to do the system to do everything for us. So when you do automatic, you have up to 5 weeks if needed, but you usually will do week 1 through 4, and then will you be selecting your vendor and the amount that you spend each week. So let's go as an example here. Let's select FNW, which we work with, but you can certainly select any other vendors as well. So one thing is you want to keep all your food categories. You can calculate food and non-food costs, but what I recommend is you just enter your food costs, anything that is just food related in the application to determine your PPD for just food, not non-food costs are things that you may not have much uh, control over, and you can certainly track it like paper and chemicals, so to speak. So let's do FNW. Let's have this category to be food. As you can see, you have different categories here, but we're gonna put food category. And this is what I'm saying here. Just keep everything food under this column so you know that you're not mixing the categories. So let's just say that this application here is for week 1 of the new menu. Okay, and then you spend, let's say you spent $1,800 for that week. Same thing here. You went for F&W, and this is week 2 of the new menu. And then here you spend, let's say you spend 1,500 for that week, and you do F&W again, and you do for week 3, and then you have week 3 of the new menu, and you spent it here. Let's say you spent about $850 in there, and then you can certainly select rainbow or anything else. For sake of the demonstration, we're just going to do F&W again, and we're going to select food, and this is going to be your week 4 and the new menu. And let's say you spend here that week, you only spend $800. Okay, and we are doing this for the month of, let's, for the sake of this, just to the beginning of the year, right? January. And so if you have 5 weeks in January, you will select the 5th week, and then we just certainly populate that as well. But we're just going to do it based on 4 weeks for the demonstration purposes. So as you can see, let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see the food cost it's already calculated for you. The total purchases is $4,950 total. Um, but what we want to is to calculate the PPD for each of those weeks, right? So when you do that, after you enter all the information for which one, would you get it from your invoices, your vendors will usually break your information. Your purchases are based on food and non-food. If you see your invoices, they'll put as a paper or chemicals or food. What you want to is put that total invoice for that week that you did at 1800. If you didn't order that week, that's okay. You just enter 0, right? But if you do the following week, then you put the number in it. The important thing is that you do it weekly. You can certainly take it all, the monthly invoices, and put the total in one and not skip it, and skip each week. But we highly recommend that you do weekly because that's how you end up staying on budget. If you monitor you cost weekly, you're more likely to not go over your budget PPD or your budgeted PPDs. So once you populate all these numbers here, if you do food cost calculation, be sure you read your prompt. It says here, be sure you complete weekly census for 1 week through 5th week are completed. So how we done that? No. So we need to populate the weekly census on these categories right here. Make a little bit bigger for you. So weekly census will be here. So you get this from medical records. So let's say we're doing a midnight for week 1 was 50. And week 2, you census, well, 50. We'll just do 50 for purposes of this demonstration. And we'll do 49 for week 4. And you don't have anything for week 5. So just put 1 here as a default. Make sure that you follow the prompt, say complete week 1 to week 5. That is not going to change your results, but it will certainly make other buttons to show up, so you can, as you can see later. If we leave that blank, you may not have the ability to export. So just put a 1 on week number 5. Once you do that, let's go back to it and see if it give you the same prompt to say be sure you have 1 through 5. Yes, we do. And now it will calculate. If you have left a blank, it will alert you to enter something into it. So now you can see the system automatically, when you did food cost, calculated, or you can refresh the calculations here, but it automatically calculates your PPD for each week. As you can see, 514 for week 1, 429 for the next, 243 for the next, and week 4, 233. So very nice PPD. I don't think this is a realistic PPD, but the idea is that you can weekly track your PPD and know that maybe you budgeted for your PPD for the facility is at $7. In this case, you know that, oh, January was a great month. We were at 355 PPD. So you are more informed. You are able to make better decisions in terms of what you will be serving your patients, and controlling those items that are high cost, or allowing yourself the ability to truly control the food cost with valuable data as such. So if, for example, you were to do a $5,000 just for the sake of the week 1, right? The system will update, will do refresh our calculations. Now you see that you 355 PPD, but let's see what happens here when you update your cost, right? So you have to, you change that 5 times, you go to food cost. Now your PPD went to 583 with that $5,000. And so it's very important. And oftentimes the system will remind you that you are overboard. So this 429 will change to a red color, usually within the warnings that it has, letting you know that you have gone above. But as you can see, if you were making informed decisions this week, you know you were at 1429, but not big deal, right? Because you now are a 429 for the following week, 243, 243. So overall, your PPD, even though you have $5,000 expense in week one, you end up with a total of $8,000 in purchases for that month. And because you fed these many residents, now your PPD is 583. So you can play with these numbers, but certainly what you would do here is in week one, right? You didn't know week two, week three, week four. You would say 1429. Woo, that's high. But you know that you went to the week two, three, and four, and five. You were able to control that PPD by bringing it down. Because if you stay again $5,000 in that month, then now it would be doubling those numbers, and then you would now be 8.33 ppd and so on. So very, very important to track your weekly um, purchases rather than just doing it on a monthly basis. So now, because you are within your action plan, is not necessarily, but you might want to put some notes here that remind you about the month. This month went great. Products were in season, or menu was relatively helpful to contain costs, or whatever observations you make for that you want to um, make here. Once you're done, after that, you want to save your monthly budget here so you can track it. So now you know this PPD end up about $6. I think I changed that number. $6. Now what it says save to month, you select the month that you want to save it to, that's January, and then this will correspond to that. So if you do the wrong month, it will select the wrong month here. So you when you do January here, as you can see, the check mark changes to be on that month, and now you can save your PPD for that month, and it will here in this little hand here will calculate the overall PPD for the years. So once you have done that, you save it to the year. You can print this form if you like and archive it, and then you can reset the form. Okay, and then you can reset the form. Actually, you reset the weekly form. If you reset this form, will reset the entire thing. You don't want to do that. So you want to reset weekly. And do you want to disable the automatic data entry? No. I want to remember the data entry. Do you want to reset the selections from the current month? Yes, just it doesn't matter. And then you can start all over again like what you just did in the demonstration. Hopefully this is helpful to you. If you have any questions, reach out to us, info@sosnutritionconsulting.com. Thank you.